So I'm going to start in the abdomen. This is the way that I was trained to start. This tradition of manual therapy that I practice primarily comes from through my Japanese medicine teacher that I trained with a long time ago. And we always started in the abdomen. And partly that comes from the Oriental medicine idea of how energy circulates in the body and how the structure of the body is focused in the core of the body, basically. And one of the things that I always thought was interesting about Japanese medicine and Chinese medicine is that in Western medicine we like to look at everything according to Cartesian coordinates, which are like graph lines, vertical and horizontal. And so we like to put somebody up against that and go, you know, are their shoulders parallel, are their hips parallel, that kind of thing. But that idea of measuring things like that didn't occur to them in China or Japan back in the old days. So their way of creating a frame of reference for diagnostic things is to take the center as the focus and then kind of look radially out from there. So it's a very different perspective. You know, if you're looking for a whole pattern of distortion in somebody's body from traumatic injuries, it's pretty important to look at the whole thing or investigate the whole thing to really find out what the whole picture is. Also, it's actually pretty common when people have big accidents like that, like a car accident or a fall or things like that, especially if there's a really obvious injury or maybe two really obvious injuries. There might be 6 or 7 not so obvious injuries that never even get looked at or treated because all the attention goes to the worst ones or the most obvious ones. So the kind of basic pattern of this diagnostic method is to start in the belly, get whatever information you can get there, and then start down the legs, down the arms, work on the neck a little bit from face-up position, then turn them over and go from the top down along the back and the legs. And part of what I'm going to be doing is looking for symmetry or different kinds of feelings in the tissue, qualities in the tissue, to see if, for example, her muscle tissue is all one way, but in certain places it's different because of trauma or something like that. So the first part is just to do a general overview of what's going on in the body and what do different tissues feel like. Is there hot spots or cold spots in different places? Is there any place that's painful when I touch on it, which, by the way, you can interrupt me if I get to one of those. And like that. And as I'm going along here, I'm actually looking at a lot of different things at once. So I'm looking at joint function, I'm looking at tissue qualities, I'm looking at temperature, things like that, and I'm also looking at the acupuncture channels and if there seems to be any too much tightness, too much looseness, too much weakness, or variations along the acupuncture channels themselves.